Hello, Hector. Good day, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are right now. Nice to have you. What are we going to talk about today?
Hello, Johannes. Today we're going to talk about two things. One is how to leverage AI to produce music, to produce art, and not only that, but also how to leverage some concepts from software engineering to boost that music production process.
Oh, this sounds really exciting. And I think we're also going to look a little bit at Kiro and that new IDE that AWS created, or AWS did not create. We don't know, but we're going to look at how to extend that a bit as part of that, right? A really interesting topic. So I'm looking forward to the session. And with that, before we jump into the technical details, Hector, I know you haven't been on my channel before. I know where you're from, but the listeners don't know. So please tell me a bit. Where are you from? And your name sounds Spanish, so you must be somewhere from that area, right?
Right. Well, first of all, thank you for the invitation. It's a great honor for me to be in your channel. My name is Hector Zelaya. I'm a software engineer from El Salvador. I am currently working as a software engineer for a company called Democratizing Ventures. Right now, we focus on building real-time communication applications, so not very far from music. I've been working as a software engineer since 2015. I've been doing a bit of everything from software development, DevOps, developer advocate, and I am also a part of the community builder program. And in my bio, if you go to my socials, you will read that I'm a software engineer. That's my role. But I'm also a hobbyist musician, and that's
Okay.
where this music production using Kiro exercise came from. And yeah, it's a bit of a combination of both worlds: software engineering and also music.
Wow, this is really amazing. It's a great story. And actually, that's also what catched my attention. And that's also why I invited you, because it sounded like a pretty cool, let's say, idea on how to use the new technologies that we're seeing on around these days to produce something that is, well, that can be used for pleasure as well, and not just software or things like that, right? So what do you play any instrument or something like that, or are you more the singer type of person?
Well, I do. I play keyboards. I also have some knowledge about guitar and bass, and I also do some singing. So yeah, it's
Ooh,
a bit of everything.
cool. That means we can do another round of this podcast in a singing version, because maybe you don't know, but I also sing a bit, or at least I sang a
Wow,
bit, right? So, and I play the piano. So this is
nice.
something that we could definitely do a second round of, and I'm sure that it would also get us a lot of subscribers and likes if two cute boys are singing. Maybe something technical topic. You know Forrest Brazil, I guess. Then he's like one of the persons at least mixing music and tech as well. If you don't know him, I'll send
Okay.
you a YouTube link of Forrest as well. He has been doing some amazing things in the past, and he was an
Nice.
AWS hero as well. Cool. So with that, I would say we know something about you, and if people are interested to hear more at the end of the show, we're going to share your socials and also tell people how to reach out to you. So let's now dive into the technical details of this. So, Hector, you're using Kiro, which is an agentic IDE, to create music. What the
Yeah.
hell? Tell us more.
Yeah. Uh, an agentic IDE, something specifically designed to build code. Now, why are we using are we using it for music? Well, first of all, I think it's fair to acknowledge that artificial intelligence and music, or any form of art for that purpose, are not exactly the best friends there. There is a lot of debate and a lot going on around the idea of AI taking unfair advantages over art. And yeah, that is something that it exists. And I hope that the companies can really get into an agreement that is beneficial for both the artists and also for the companies. But in this case, what I want to do is reframe that conversation, not in a way where we have AI versus art, but actually how to leverage AI as a tool for creating art while maintaining the core emotion and the creativity in the human side.
Okay,
That's
so
that's
coming back to the way that we always talk about code, you're still having the human in the loop when the AI produces music, and going to the wording that AWS has been using for Kiro, you're doing that back again in a spec-driven development mode of creating
right.
music, right? Okay, so with that we kind of use the same terminology that we use for code to now create music, and that what does that do? Does that show the power of AI, or does that show how simple things are, or what do you think is the main takeaway?
Well, the idea of using AI is in mainly three fronts. One is as a complement of creativity. I can use something like Gemini, like to bounce ideas or bounce some knowledge that I would like to add, maybe to the lyrics or something like that. On the other hand, is to automate the tedium, like producing music has a lot of work that not that is not necessarily creativity. That is more like, okay, I have to set up an effect chain, I have to add a compressor, I have to add um, uh, an equalizer, and do certain things that are not exactly the most fun thing to do. Versus, I mean, for some people could be indeed very fun, but uh, at at least myself, I am a software developer. I'm not a producer.
Mm-hmm.
um, and as an artist, the part that I enjoy the most is the writing, the performing, and I would like to focus all my energy there instead
Mm-hmm.
uh, of of managing compressors, equalizer, and all kind of effects. And that is something that AI can be really helpful. But here's the catch: um, giving AI control over your project and knowing that AI can hallucinate and make things that you don't have too much control over it, it's a dangerous thing. So you need a way to for you and the AI to agree upon what are the things that you want
Mm-hmm.
to automate. Um, and to do so, same as in software development, you want to be in control of the quality of the code. You can do so using the spec-driven development approach. And there are multiple tools for spec-driven development, but the one that I currently use in my software development process is the, the Kiro ID, and that's how I got into the path of also saying, okay, can I use this very same tool, like to create specs that focus on music production and not as code, so I can control and make sure that the AI will only perform the task that I want it to perform, and be sure that it's not going to mess up all my songs. So that's how I got into the Kiro ID.
Okay, and in this case, this means specifications being text that you're writing that is then being sent into different tools, and we're going to look at them now. And that then
Right.
produces music. And this is
Correct.
something that you can then use. Okay,
Correct.
so I think we set enough context. Let's now look at how the hell does this actually work? And I think something that I read out of your blog post is that you have actually created a Kiro power. That means it's also simple for others to use, right? So two aspects of this are pretty interesting. On the one side, you can extend Kiro using a Kiro power. Maybe we can explain a bit what that means. And then as a next step, let's look at the details. And then let's look at how that actually works, right? So what is a Kiro power? Is it just a combination of markdown files like skills, or what is it?
Sure. The 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 main problem of using a software development tool for music production is that the software development tool is going to be focused on, well, software development. But since Kiro has this ability of powers is actually a combination of multiple things. It's a combination of, first, MCP servers, but also steering files that allows to, as the name suggests, steer the behavior of the IDE into what we wanted to focus. So for music production, we are not interested on writing code. We are more interested on the agent to execute some specific tools that allow it to control a software application, in this case a digital audio workstation. The one that I use is called Reaper because it's the most,
Mm-hmm.
at least for me, it's the more flexible, and it offers a powerful API. So we need to tell Kiro, okay, you need to stop writing code for the specs, and instead you need to focus on manage it on managing some tools. And one easy way to do that, to set the MCP server, to set the behavior, is, well, through powers. And yeah, I have created one power that it's completely open source. It's available on GitHub, and if you allow me, I can share my screen to show how the Markdown file looks like.
Let's do that.
So let me. So here I have. Let me make this.
Just 1 second. Now it works. Yes.
Okay. So this is the GitHub repository, and here's the main entry file, which is the power.md. And here we are telling Kiro, okay, from now on, you are a music producer. You are no longer gonna produce code as part of your specs, and instead, you're gonna control an MCP tool called Reaper MCP, which I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna show in just a moment. This is a fork of an MCP server originally developed by 12 Take Studios, but I have made a fork because I've done some improvements um, in order to manage tracks and some other things. And here I am telling, stop writing coding tasks and instead focus on MCP tool invocation. I give Kiro the examples and also a list of all the tools that it has available in order to perform all the music production tasks.
Okay.
And yeah, adding this to Kiro also gives access to this
Mm-hmm.
MCP server. Now,
Okay.
there's a catch. Because of the way this MCP server works, it actually requires to be downloaded and copying a file into the Reaper scripts. Once you install the power, you have to go into the MCP configuration, but this is a one-time configuration. You need to add the right path to where the MCP server is available. But once you do that, this is uh, ready to go and tackle all the music projects
Cool.
that
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 means you
you
need
have.
the MCP server, you need the power, and you need to set up credentials, I assume, for the MCP server as well that can be used then.
No, actually, you just need to copy a bridge file
Okay.
into the Reaper scripts folders, and once you do that, the MCP is able to control the DAO application, same as you will do it.
Cool. That sounds good. Okay, then let's look at it in action and see how actually you interact with that. Let's assume that the MCP server is set up and works. Let's assume that you already have downloaded Kiro. How can I work with this and how can I use that to create music?
Sure. So I have a project here open. Actually, this is a song that I'm working on for my first album. So
Cool.
I'm expecting to release it sometime this year. There are a couple of songs already available on Spotify, YouTube Music, Apple Music, mostly all of the platforms, and these songs have been produced and released using this very same approach. So, as a shameless plug here, uh, please support these songs on whatever music platform you're using. You can search for my name, Hector Zelaya, and yeah, I will appreciate that. So
Cool.
I have this the project, and what I have here is Kiro. What I like to do, since Reaper organizes projects in in its own folder. So what I do is I open that folder as a project in Kiro, so I can get access to all the media, and I define the specs here in the usual way. Like, you open the chat, go to the spec tab, and yeah, ask Kira about the specs. So to be mindful of time, I already prepare a spec.
Cool.
And this one, what I did, let me make this bigger. I told Kiro, enable Reaper Do, the power, and create a spec for something called gain staging, and for
Mm-hmm.
also mixing, although I had a typo here for mixing, and I set the main requirements. We are aiming for healthy levels on the tracks, on the master, and also proper levels between vocals, backing vocals, and instrumentals. Use
Mm-hmm.
loudness plugins with prefader values to set proper level values. Kiro created the three usual files: the requirements, the design, and one interesting thing here is that in the design, because we have specified to Kira that this is a music production and it should focus on MCP tool invocation, uh, it actually say in the design that every step is an MCP tool invocation against the running Reaper instance.
This is cool. Yeah, great idea.
Yeah,
And you
and
can
then
actually do that with any other type of MCP server as well, right? So I think that's
correct.
pretty
Yeah,
yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so in this case, it's for music production, but yeah, any kind of complex workflows such as software development or even design. If there's a there's a saying that goes that if there's a shell, there's a way, and in this case, if there's an API and it's an MCP server, you can automate it this way. And
Cool.
yeah, we have all the instruction here about how to add the loudness meters, how to uh, play a measure, calculate the adjustments, and based on this, and one quick thing before moving to the task is that since Kiro is somehow hard coded to software development, it, I'm assuming there is an instruction somewhere of
It's a system prompt,
generating.
most likely, that is kind
Yeah,
of that is created in the background for you.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it is instructed to create data models, but since we are instructing also to not doing code, it says since this workflow operates through MCP calls rather than code, the data models are the structured values read from and written to Reaper. So it's
Cool.
adapting his old prompt to music production. So and here we have the task. It's as in here we can see that the tasks are actually actions into the Reaper DAO. So it will verify
Okay.
project state. It would add the loudness meter. It would
So,
verify
so that
the
means each of the tasks will call out to the MCP tool and will actually get the feedback from Reaper, which is the other program running in the background at the end.
correct. Yeah.
Cool.
And here we have two options, same as we have with software development. We can go and click task by task, review, and make sure that Reaper has done everything correctly, or to do what I do, uh, click on run all tasks, and while that is running, I get into more creative task like finishing another song or exploring something else, and just giving a quick look once in a while to check that everything is it's running smoothly. In this case, I'm gonna click on run all tasks, run the requirement, and let Kiro do the bulk of the, in this case, gain staging. And
Okay.
Kira's gonna do all the MCPs. At some point, we will hear that it will start playing the actual song, because it would also try to read from the level metrics and make sure that the levels are as expected. And yeah, it will handle all that.
Really cool. That means now it interacts. Well, it's going to execute stuff in on the server side, on the model side of Kiro, like on the backend, interacting with AI. But then it will go back to your PC and execute the MCP server, which is running locally right now, right? So this means you can only run this on your own laptop because it
Yeah,
requires the local MCP server. That means in the Kiro autonomous agents, this would not work right now, right? Because the
yeah.
power would not be available. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's a pretty fascinating idea, right? It also gives you the possibility to really extend Kiro to do other stuff as well, and you could now integrate also this MCP server somehow into creating samples or potentially also in the future creating videos, right? So I think
Right.
this is really, yeah, it's a really good idea. And now this is a software that runs on your laptop, is what I
Yeah,
understood, right?
yeah. This is
And
the Reaper digital audio audio workstation.
oh, cool. Okay. Well, I've never used that kind of thing, which is why I'm like also learning about that. Um, Coming back to the Kiro Power that you created, this is at the moment open source and available on GitHub. We can link it in the show notes, but it's not available as an official Power on Kiro, right? So,
Yeah,
uh,
it's on GitHub, but it's not on any Kiro Power repository.
mhm.
But yeah, you can find it on GitHub and add it to Kiro using the GitHub URL. And the
Ah,
Reaper MCP that it uses, as I mentioned before, is It was originally developed by 12 Take Studios, but the one that is working with this power is a fork that has some improvements. It has some bug fixes, some new tools, and I'm also working on a feature for being able to listen to reference tracks and what we'll try to get the sonic features and apply it to new tracks. So uh, you will be able to pass a reference track, say, hey, I want you to master so that it sounds similar to this one. And
Okay.
it will try to get all these sonic features and translate that into actual FX values.
Okay, and this now then doesn't use uh, any models under the hood, right? This really runs on your local only with
That
interacting.
runs,
Okay.
yeah. It runs locally. It's pure Python,
Okay.
and all eh, uh, everything is done by the Kiro's underlying models.
Okay. Cool. Good. So how far did Kiro get with all of this?
Well, it now it can literally go from software development to music production to
No, no,
any
sorry,
kind of.
sorry, wrong question from my side.
Oh, okay.
Did the execution of the task already
Oh,
finish?
let
Sorry,
me check.
that
Well,
was my question.
it is still working. It is verifying the project state. It has added some effects. We can go to Reaper and see that it is adding effects to the tracks. The ones that it's adding are some loudness meter.
Okay.
Is this plugin that gives some information about how loud that track is, and it is doing this because I'm asking it to make sure that the tracks has have healthy levels that are loud enough to be heard correctly, but not uh, but make
Not
sure that
too loud
it's,
for, yeah.
yeah, right.
Okay. Got it. Okay, and how long does that usually take to generate that track, like in total? Just out
It
of curiosity, because we don't want to wait for 10 hours or
Yeah. It will depend on the kind of task that is doing. In this case, since it's gain staging, um, gain staging it's when you do it manual, it's a considerably long task. Um, and in this case, since it's calling uh, tools that translate into actions into the Reaper,
hmm
it's gonna take kind of more or less the same, but you are able to do other thing while you are waiting. Now, it's a, it's not gonna take 10 hours. That's for sure. But yeah, it will take some time.
Okay.
Here, for instance, it started to playback, and
Okay.
it's waiting a couple of seconds while it waits for the lofts reading, or the level readings to
Okay.
get to some level and get the idea of how loud is each track.
Okay. So that means it needs to officially listen to the levels so it can then normalize them later, and that's what it's gonna do as the next step. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty fascinating. And usually now on your own laptop you would also hear the music that is being
Yeah.
played, or not yet?
Yeah. I was actually hearing, but I had to stop in order to continue our conversation.
Yeah, and I think that's partly of the problem of the recording tool that we have, right? So we might be streaming in a little bit of the music that we're using here as well. But this, okay, cool. So I think that's the details. How do you see this being integrated with software development? Do you already see, like, as a next step, I'm going to now include music in all of my software projects because I can automate that? Or how do you see that in the future, Hector?
I don't know. I actually haven't thought about it, but if you ask me right now, yeah, I think um, yeah, since this has the potential of democratizing music creation, because right now, uh, you uh, well, this is a thought that I have, that we only knew the artists that had the privilege to dedicate time to music, but
Mm-hmm.
there are a lot of people that might have the talent and the creativity to make music, but don't have maybe the contacts for a studio, or for having a band, or something similar. And with this, we can make these tools available so that any people with the talent and the creativity for music can lower the barrier, uh, and be able to dedicate and create music.
Yeah, and I think that's a very interesting point. AI makes a lot of things simpler than before. The question is that always good or not, right? And
Yeah,
if you think about that, I'm not sure, right? So I'm excited to see this technology being unlocked for a lot of us, but I am also a little bit, I would say, I fear of all of the things that are going to be created through that, because I don't know how we will be able to keep up with the quality and consuming all of the stuff that is being created because we are accelerating that much.
yeah,
So let's see how that develops.
yeah. And one thing that I would like to add is that, well, at least right now, AI is really good at imitating speech, imitating language, and even imitating emotions. But at, at the end of the day, since it's all raw numbers under the hood, it's not aware of what is saying, what is telling. So right now is pure imitation. The core emotions are still a human thing, and um, given that we keep that as a human thing, then I think that and we use AI tools as just uh, a way to boost the humans' effort. I think the content that we generate will have all the right qualities and and emotions that we are expecting to have. As long as we keep that, I think we are in a good shape.
Yeah, I think that is correct, and I'm eager to see how with your music that you're creating, you're going to create emotions as well. So maybe when this Kiro process is finished, maybe you can send me the created or updated track, right? Or you can upload it somewhere, and then I can link it from the show notes as well, Hector. And we'll see what other people say and what emotions are caused by the music created through Kiro in this case. Hector,
Sure.
where
And
can people reach out to you, find out more about you, maybe help you with the open source work that you're doing? Tell me a bit. How do you want people to reach out to you?
yeah, well, I'm mostly available on LinkedIn. You can find me as Hector Zelaya, or my handle name is Hector ZG. Um, I will share the link so that you can also show it somewhere
Please,
here.
yeah.
Yeah. And on YouTube Music or Spotify, you can also find me as Hector Zelaya. I have a couple of songs already, mostly Latin American music in Spanish. But if that's your thing, then you are more than welcome to follow me and yeah, listen to my music.
Cool. Thank you very much. I will add that to the show notes as well, Hector. Any last things you want to share before we close out for today?
No, well, as I mentioned before, thanks for the opportunity of being in your channel, and yeah, if there's anything that I can like help, whether on music or in software development or in integrating AI into any kind of complex workflow, software development, music creation, or whatever, you can also contact us as WebRTC Ventures. And yeah, we are happy to help.
Thank you very much for spending time with me, Hector, for recording this. And to everyone watching, thank you for staying until the end of the show. I hope you enjoyed this one. And the next one might be a little bit more focused on platform engineering, or maybe again AI. I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comments and give me some feedback on what you want to hear next. Have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.